Well, how are we doing, guys? Welcome back, and what an amazing day it is. I've just come to this really cool looking beach. We've pretty much got clear skies, only a few clouds. There's barely any wind in the air at the moment, which is just incredible. The idea is I'm gonna be chucking ultralight gear with super light lures and just learning how to catch the fish here, how they feed, and hopefully throughout this whole journey, you guys will learn a thing or two also, so that you guys can get into your own locals, use some of these methods so that you guys can catch some of your own fish. And that's the idea, and hopefully we can pull up an absolute giant. Come over here, I'll show you what we're working with. You can actually see there's heaps of rocks throughout this zone. You've got rocks on land, you've got rocks in the water, and past those rocks there seems to be a decent drop-off point also. Plus you've got rocks over here all through the water that go out pretty deep. It's actually a bit of a point right here, but what's really cool, this is what I love, you've got incoming tide at the moment. I think we're about half tide. We've got another 3 hours of incoming tide, and that tide is just absolutely pumping and hitting this point where those rocks are. Now, I love fishing in and around rocks because they present a really good habitat for fish, because they just create this really nice structure that the fish like to sit in around, live around, feed upon. Bait fish seems to be congregated around rocks, and generally it's just such a great zone to target fish. Very keen. We're gonna go look at what gear we've got, work out a bit of a plan. I haven't fished here in so long, so I'm gonna be learning as much as you guys are. So that's the kind of fun thing about it. I'm keen to probably chuck on some prawns to start with, just because of how versatile prawns are. You can pretty much catch anything on prawns. That's my idea, and then after that we can kind of change things up. If we want to go some minnows or a different style of lure, we can. Let us have a look-see. Got me coffee. What have we got? In the hot tackle department. If you don't already know, best place to get all your fishing gear, lures and everything, hottackle.com.au. If you want good quality and you want cheapest prices on the market, they're the people you want to go with. I'll put the links in the description below. Now, I'm going to start off with a jig head and a plastic. Reason being, it's good for covering ground. If you lose it, it's not the end of the world because you get multiple in each packets. So, in my opinion, it's a good scouting option if you're exploring a new zone and you don't know what to get. Oh no. Oh no. There's no way. How am I out of 1/12? Honestly. Well, I'm pretty much out of 1/12. There we go. It's the last melon, the last 1/12 of the season. That's touch and go. Yeah, we're gonna go with 1/12. This is a size 2 bait junkie jig head. The reason I use bait junkies is you can see it has those bait holder notches which help hold the plastic in place, especially for a lot of fish that peck at it. Often if you have other jig heads, they peck at it, plastic comes down, it just gets pushed down, whereas this one just generally holds. And it's a 2X, so a little bit stronger in the hook. Plastic wise, we want to go something small because I want something that will just get me fish, get me some numbers, and just help me kind of work out what sort of species are around. I've got one left. I absolutely love using this color. It says motor oil, but that is not motor oil. That is actually bloodworm UV. And I actually love using that color when you've got clearish water like this and you've got sunny weather. Going that clearish sort of color, it'll just really match the hatch. Got another of these colors, and of course I just drop it in the sand. Like, honestly, that's just classic. So anyways, that's what we're gonna go. Gear wise, I've got my ultralight rod out today. I've been using this over the last few sessions, absolutely loving it. Daiwa Revelry FCMQ 2500 ultralight reel paired up with my Daiwa Infeed S 0.5 to 3 kilo rod. This is a 7-foot fast taper, ultralight. So much fun for flicking these light lures, and when you get a big fish on, it's just game on. It's so good. Now I've got that paired up with 10-pound Daiwa Expedition braid. It's 8 strand with 10-pound leader. 10-10. Good all-rounder. If you're starting out, that's probably what I would recommend using. So anyways, we'll tie the jig head on. So I'm just doing a loop knot. It's a very important knot that I use all the time, especially when plastics fishing. It gives that lure so much movement. I've absolutely nailed that rigging job. Look at that, that's perfect. Got a bit of S-Factorly. Chuck this fella on. Mate, we are good to go. Well, here we go. Very, very excited. Light tackle rod. Fishing in and around structure. So we're gonna start by fishing off the back. Oh, there's actually heaps of bait in there, which is, that's an awesome sign. There's heaps of bait just off the back of all these rocks, which is what I thought. So I've just cast it out. Gonna do some erratic little hops. Really get it bouncing off the bottom. Hopefully avoid some of these snagglepussies. We'll go out this way a little bit more in that direction where the current's flowing. Really let it sink. Big time sinkage. Oh, I was on all the way at the bottom. Okay, so we're gonna try at these next set of rocks. There's bait all through here, but they're all like little hardy heads or herring. And they would look very, very similar to your nomad spectrum minnows. That would really match the hatch, and we'll keep having a go with these prawns. If not, we'll definitely give them a go. Yep. Oh, flathead. Flathead, little fella. On the retrieve. Settle, dude. Well, that's good. That's our first fish. Oh, hey. Settle. He's not very big, but that was actually a pretty cool hit. Literally on the retrieve. Well, there we go. I knew there had to be something over there because there's rocks all through there. And then past the rocks there's a nice drop-off point, and it continues all the way till about that point. So there's every chance that there could be some more flatties or anything through there. And that's lovely. If we can get a mother of one of these, that would be sick. Buddy, settle. Oh, hook's popped out. To be honest, I want to release this guy as gently as possible because they just go shambles. And they're spikier. It's just no good. Every time. There he goes. You know what? We're just going to let him wriggle his way back. Go on, buddy. There you go. Quite a bright flathead. Look at him in the shallows. That's sick. He dead set just got so lighter. So much lighter. Look, he's blending in so well with the sand. You can barely see him. Look, he's pretty much gone. But yeah, he's right there. That's crazy. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be a bait fish around here. Too many things that could eat me. Now I'd say, in terms of your jig head weight, especially if you want numbers and you want something that's versatile to be able to catch a broad number of species, like your brim, tarwines, a lot of your bread and butter species, flathead, especially if they're finicky, I generally wouldn't go heavier than a 1/12. Sometimes you can even go lighter too, depending on where you're fishing, how much wind is in the area, how deep it is, what current it is. But for this sort of area, I think 1/12 should be perfect. I can still cover a nice bit of ground because I can get some decent casts, but it's light enough that I can still catch brim and other interesting little species like that. There's bait all through here, and they're all, I've got to change plastics. They're all just herring and hardy head looking things. And there's even some out deep too. Like, look at them on the surface there. Yeah, I've got to match the hatch. I'll keep the same jigget on, it'll be perfect. Just change plastic and we've got to give it a go. We're gonna get a paddle tail presentation to really match the hatch of these little bait fish all through here, because there's literally just bait fish all pushing into the shallows and even some out deeper too. And especially if these fish are dialed in and zoned in to those little baits, if we can match the hatch, I think we'll be on. Okay, so we've got these Nomad Live Ops Spectrum minnows. It's in the 2.5 inch. It's in that like white bait looking color, super realistic. Already got tracer scent infused into the plastic, so I shouldn't have to scent this fella up. It's pretty much ready to go. Now, quick thing about these lures, they're not a TP material, so they're not gonna last you as long as other lures, but they've used this design and this plastic to give it extra movement and more finesse on the plastic. So, especially if the fish are a little bit more finicky, this is gonna get it done. It's not gonna last a whole lot of fish, but honestly, like, have a look at that profile. That's unreal. You can see it's got foil built in, and when you move that against the sunlight, it just shimmers, and that is so realistic looking. It's got that really cool eyeball. And with all these bait fish around, herring, there's probably hardy heads, there's just a bit of everything. This is gonna match them. So, we'll take that plastic off. We're gonna keep the 1/12 ounce jig head size 2 on. The only thing I like to do, cut a bit of the end off, so probably about that much, and that way it just squares off that plastic a bit more and it makes it sit just a little bit flatter on that jig head. There we go, there's a perfectly rigged plastic. You can see the end of the plastic fits on quite nicely to that jig head. You've got the eyeballs, you've got that shimmer, and that tail has heaps of movement. This should be perfect for really matching the hatch and replicating what the bait fish are like. Okay, here we go. Nomad Spectrum minnow. Look how much bait fish is out there. It's actually insane. And all through the shallows. Look. Haven't put any scent on because it's got scent infused, which is nice. Let's just send that out there. Casts pretty well too. Okay, let it sink all the way down. Give it some hops off the bottom. There should be some big fish through there. And if they are finicky, I'm hoping this will just be realistic enough to get them to smash it. So anyways, we'll give it a few casts around here. If we get nothing, that's okay, we'll just move spots. There's some good spots coming up. Okay, so we caught that nice little flatty. He wasn't huge, and we tested out a couple of different plastics all through these rock ledges and sandbars and drop-off points. Heaps of bait around, but not many big fish yet. So gonna keep exploring down that section of the beach and really just have a good look for fish. And with this sun around, like there's every chance that we could sight cast a big flatty just cruising along the banks. And if we can do that, it's gonna be on. So I'm very keen. Some very good zones down there. So we'll keep that spectrum minnow tied on. We'll just keep our eye out. Honestly, just being out here on a day like today, catching fish is the bonus, you know. Enjoying God's creation and seeing what He's created for us is just, it's unreal. And we're all gonna go one day, unfortunately. That's just life. And it's how we enjoy these moments right now. You know, it's what we do in this lifetime. It's why being grateful and being thankful for what we've got and enjoying the moments like this is super important. So, thank you, Lord. What the heck? There are some big fish through there. Man, what are they, dude? I think I actually have no clue what they are. I'm gonna do a fast burn. I think they're mullet, but I'm not 100% sure. They could be giant herring, they could be trevs. I'll just try a few fast ones in case they're trevs or something. Oh, I'm on. Struth. I'm on. Whatever it is, I'm on. I'm not sure what it is. I was just doing a fast bite. Hang on. What is that? Is that a trev? I think I've hooked a trev. I have two. You're kidding. You're kidding. I'm just backed off slightly. Are they trevs? What is going on? It's not a bad fish. I'm pretty definite this is a trev. So I think there might be mullet in there, but there's also trevs in and around them. There could be heaps of bait. And he's not a bad fish at all. Come on, buddy. I'd love to know what trev it is. It looks potentially even like a little GT or a big eye. No, I think that's a GT. Far out. Struth. Big waves. I think a boat came past. How good is that? Like, I think there's a school of mullet there. And there must be trevs in and around them. All right, here we go. That's a lovely little fish. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Look at him. He's such a cool little fish. Well, there we go. The lighting's probably not the best, but that's actually a lovely little trev. Little GT, only small, but I'll tell you what, on the light stick, they go hard, and I think there's like heaps of mullet out there, but there's obviously trevally in and around them. Obviously with all these herring and hardy heads and little bait fish like that, that little spectrum minnow really does seem to match the hatch, and there's got to be cruising trevs all around here. So that's awesome. Well, that's super cool. We'll just swim old mate for a second until he gets his breath back, but very good sign that there could be some really good trevs around. So much fun on the light stick and really cool just exploring these new zones. There he goes. He's good, he's off. You can see this. Yeah, they're definitely mullet, those ones. That's sick, that really is. Well, we're gonna get straight back into it. If I can get into a few of those trevs, they're so much fun. Here we go, spectrum minnow still intact, which is half surprising. All right, walking out a little bit deeper, getting a bit of distance with me, letting it sink all the way down and just fast burning, because with these trevs, they're a very much predatorial pelagic fish that often will eat quick moving things. So the quicker you wind, the better chances you probably have with trevs. And I could even try some slightly slower ones too. Actually, stuff it. I'm gonna try some hops in there. just to see what's down deeper, because if there is bait there, oh, that felt like a fish. Oh, I was just on. I think there's flathead in there. I think there's flathead in there. That dead set felt like a flathead. Have we just found like a gun zone? Not even kidding, because there's a proper little drop off there, and there must just be bait stacked up there, hence why there's all these fish in and around them. We're gonna really work this off the bottom. If we can get a big... No. Well, there's structure down there. We're out. Lucky. There's proper structure down there. It's not the greatest. Oh, what the heck? On the drop. Oh, wow, look at that. Little Moses, literally on the drop. I was like, what is going on there? That was out pretty deep too. So there's obviously some good little bit of structure there. Bait fish holding through there, and we've got mullet, we've got trebs, and now this little fella. That's cool. So that's 3 species we've got so far. Well, I think we've well and truly peppered that zone proper. Must have just been one lone trev just around the mullet. Yep, nothing doing. Well, we'll move spots. Bit of success at that spot. Nice little GT. We got a Moses perch. We had something else. Oh, look at this zone, guys. You can see there's even trees and mangrove trees and everything all through here. And with the higher tide, that tide's just pushing up on all these extra bits of structure points, which is just great. Got to be some big fish through here. So I'll just keep working my way around, work my way to, oh, struth. That's a good fish. That's a big brim. Oh, that's a nice brim. I was not ready for that. Oh my. I had actually pretty tight drag for the trebs, and he just hit hard. Oh, that is an awesome fish. Oh, how good is that? Gee, I was not ready for him. Well, there we go. That's another species. Look at that. Such a lovely brim. And you can see they're absolutely crunching that spectrum in at the moment. It's really matching the hatch with all these bits of bait fish that are coming through. That's another species. Like, look at that. That's lovely. Perfectly hooked in the side of the mouth. We'll give him a release, and you can tell these fish are definitely pushing up into these shallows on that higher tide. See you, buddy. I'm not gonna, take too much time, unless it's like an absolute crazy fish. I'm not gonna take too much time getting the measure mat out, you know, giving major hold-ups with camera facing me. It's just, I know a lot of people do that, even with small fish, but it honestly doesn't worry me, unless it's crazy, you know. I'd rather have more time out fishing, having me line in the water. Yeah, my drag was probably slightly tight then, so we've got it a little bit looser this time. But there is also a lot of snags too, so if they play dirty, there's a chance they could get me into the snags, which isn't ideal. And as it, another one, you're off it. Are you serious? Another brim. Next cast, slightly smaller, but gee, that's unreal. Look at that, a little bit smaller this one, but right in that zone. Such a lovely fish though, and in this color water, like, it's pretty awesome. See you, buddy. Tell you what, this lure's working. It's matching the hatch for this color water and the bait fish that are coming through. And it's good that we've got that 1/12 on, because it's getting these brim too. And often brim are generally a bit more of a finicky fish. Okay, so I had a bit of walk down that way, and there just wasn't a whole lot doing, not as much structure or rocks through the water. So I've fished all along here and didn't really get a whole lot. So I'm keen to head back to where I caught those brim, and especially in and around those mullet and trebs, because that seemed like it was a bit of a zone through there. And so I'm thinking, especially for like the start of the run out and a bit of the run out, fishing those zones, there could be a slight change. That's the plan. We'll head back in that direction and see if we can get onto some bigger fish, especially on the outgoing tide. Okay, we're gonna chuck little prawnly on again. Paddle tail, she's done her job. We can salute her, she can rest. This thing got it done, absolutely. Keep it in pocket as backup. See if prawnly, especially on this outgoing tide, can really hunt them. Now again, remember with rigging, don't squeeze the plastic. If you squeeze the plastic really hard or squeeze it all, it'll probably rig all wonky. So super important, soft hands. There we go, rigged perfectly again. Bit of scent because I don't think Bait Junkie plastics are scented that well, like infused in the packet. I think they have a little bit, to be honest, but not as much as the Nomad Spectrum Minnow. So there we go, that is lovely. We'll walk out a little bit just so we can really cover some good distance. Now all through this point, there definitely seems to be some good drop-off zones. We'll just send her out there. And especially with these brim, like the brim was smashing that paddle tail. And brim love smashing prawns too. Like prawns are all my dudes on the drop. Oh, rattled. Rattled again. Probably only little, but it's a good sign. Sometimes when you find those little fish, you can find the bigger fellas around them. Oh, rattled. Yep. Oh, that could be a flathead. That feels half decent. Codley! Wow. I mean, he felt like a flathead because he had dead weight, but he never woke up. Well, I'm gonna take that. You know why? That's another species. He is absolutely tiny. That is a little estuary cod, I believe. Only tiny, but such an awesome little fish. And that's another species. This time on the prawn lure. On the outgoing tide. See you, buddy. He's off and away. Oh. Oh. That was a big squid. Look at him. A good squid just came right in for it. Ready? Look at him. He's coming right in. Look at him. He's got it. I almost had him. Look at him. Look at this squid. Look at him. Look at him. No way I get him right here. He just ate it again. Oh my. He ate it again. He's eating it. He's eating it. Come on. He just ate it again. This is the dumbest squid I've ever seen. Look at him. Come on. No way. I've got him. No way. I've got the squid. You're kidding. You're kidding. I've got him. I've proper got him. Squid on plastic, fellas. Look at that. Right at my feet. I think I accidentally foul hooked him, but he definitely had multiple goes heaps of times. This is the first time I'm gonna release squid. Gently holding squid. Look at that. Not every day you get squid on plastic. He definitely had major goes at the plastic. Didn't quite hook the barbs, or his tentacles. Clipped him on the wing and we actually got him. That's crazy. Squidly Jones. Squid release. This would be pinnacle for Jed. Mate, if Jed could do a squid release, that'd be unreal. Okay, there we go. Go, dude. Swim, dude. Way. Whoa. Go, dude. And he's just, oh. Inkage. Inkage. New. Look at him, top water squid. What a weird creature. Top water squidly. Squid on plastic, how about it? Well, how good was that? Super fun exploring these little sections, and definitely a style of fishing I absolutely love to do. Even if the zones are pretty overfished and, you know, there might not be a whole lot doing, even just grinding and peppering away for your classic bread and butter species, it's a lot of fun. And so I'd love to know if you guys enjoy this type of fishing. Chuck it down in the comments below, and also just chuck down what you enjoy seeing the most. If you want to be notified as soon as all those different videos come out, make sure you subscribe, turn the notification bell on so that you can be notified as soon as any video is uploaded. One last thing is Hot Tackle. They have crazy deals every week on their Instagram account. So what I'll do for you guys, I'll put their Instagram link in the description below too, plus their website link. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It was a lot of fun. Till next time, tight lines. You.